Peace. What's going on, everybody? Give everybody a chance to tune on in before I start part 2 of my build for the day. Hopefully, y'all had a good few hours, man, in between the time from the last live stream and this one. So I'm going to give y'all a chance to tap in before we start building. Got about an hour and some change, man. I'm about to go ahead and get a vent on. Y'all know how that goes, man. So how y'all living? How y'all holding up from the last time I tapped in with y'all, man? What's the word? Talk to me before I start talking to y'all. Y'all know how it go. Magic Realms, peace. What's happening with you, my brother? How everything going with you? What's the word, man? We got some important building to do. Got about 45 minutes to an hour to get it off my chest, man. So y'all know how I go, man. Y'all know how I go. Tavon, peace. What's happening, my brother? Frankie, peace. What's going on? Andronicus, peace. Peace. What's happening? What's happening? What's the word, man? We part 2, man. We doing 2 a days, man. Y'all know how I go. When I got something on the mind, I get on here and stream, and I let y'all know what's up. Magic Rims, there you go, man. Get your push-ups in, them affirmations, man. You building the mind and the body. That's how we got to do it. Dealing equality, man. We strengthen the mind, we strengthen the body. That's what it's all about. Antoinette, Peace Queen, what's going on with you? Tavon, for sure. That's how we got to be, man. What they say, blessed and highly favored and whatnot. You know how it is. The universe favors us, so we all good out here. We all good. Keeping that energy positive, keeping that energy powerful. Lindell, peace. What's happening with you, my brother? Nikki, peace, Queen. What's going on? Miss Donnie, peace, Queen. What's happening? What's happening? Miss Donnie coming with a story out the gate. What's the word? We about to chop it up. Miss Donnie, for sure. For sure. You know, I made a post, I made a status on Facebook, and the status was inspired by this book that I'm reading, man. I'm reading this book about a brother who was in the Nation of Islam back when everything first jumped off, and he was talking about his queen at that particular point of time. And he said one thing that attracted his queen about him at that time was the information that he was dropping on her. See, she was an educator and she loved information and she loved being educated. So he was saying the thing that pretty much captivated her about him was the fact that he was teaching her something that was new. So at that point in time, the Nation of Islam was dropping a lot of new information about the black man, woman, and child in the wilderness of North America. So he presented that information to her, you know, and her being an educator, loving information, she was captivated by his mind, by his knowledge, wisdom, and his understanding. And he said, he made a statement in this particular book that I'm reading. He said, you know, contrary to what we may believe and what we may think, women love a knowledgeable man, a knowledgeable man. And y'all have heard me speak on that in previous streams. And this was just like confirmation. It's confirmation. Joy to servant, peace. What's happening? So, you know, he was in the Nation of Islam, you know, and he was getting awakened by that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that, you know, Master Farrar Muhammad and Elijah Muhammad was dishing out at that particular time. He was inspired by that information, just like some of the greats, like Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X, you know, the father, and all these people that was inspired by the information. He was one of them. So he took that information and he presented it to his future wife at that particular time. And she was captivated by that information, and she ended up following him to the nation and things of that nature, man. So that's letting me know, that demonstrates just how powerful the man is, man. When you present some information in the right way to your queen, man, she is going to be a reflection of your light. She is going to follow your lead. I can't tell you how many brothers have brought sisters into some of these organizations simply because of the way they presented the information and the knowledge to them. I'm telling y'all, man. It don't work. It normally doesn't work in the reverse way. It doesn't normally go, a woman is introduced to a culture and she brings her man in. It's normally the other way around. A man is introduced to a culture and he brings the woman in. That's normally how it goes. That's naturally how it goes. Because I told y'all in the previous stream, women like to be led in the right direction by the right individual, by the right man. And what we got to understand too is it's all about approach. And when I made the status on Facebook and I said, contrary to what we may believe and what you may think, matter of fact, let me just go read it verbatim, man. I could just read the actual status verbatim. And I said, fellas, contrary to what y'all think, women love a knowledgeable man. But some of y'all are just dumb and don't care to enhance your knowledge. So that's why y'all can't get right with the ladies out here. Teach that woman and watch her fall in love with you. And I ended that with a piece. And of course, you get a lot of brothers when you make statements like that. You get a lot of brothers that disagree. And they start talking about, well, the woman has to be teachable. Well, you know what? I had to stop it right there. See, a lot of times what happens is when a brother makes a status like that and they say, and we say things like, black women love to be taught. Black women love a knowledgeable man. One thing we got to understand is black women love to be taught, but they have to be taught in a certain manner. You can't just force the knowledge on these queens. You can't come with all of that ego and expect for them to just learn and you coming to them like egotistical with the information and the knowledge. You got to understand that it's all about the approach. So while these women love to be informed, they love to be educated, it's all about the approach. So a lot of brothers will get on there and say, well, they got to be teachable. Well, I tried to do this back in the day. I tried to teach this queen back in the day and it didn't work out for me. Well, how did you approach her? How did you present the information to her? It's all about the approach. And we got to understand another thing too about it. Just because, and we've experienced this back in the day. Just because someone may be a good teacher, that doesn't mean that everybody that's a student will be compatible. So you may have had plenty of decent teachers back in the day, but the way that they taught didn't suit your learning style. So we got to understand that. So just because you felt like you may have been a good teacher to this black woman, but she wasn't receptive to your knowledge, doesn't mean she wasn't teachable. It just means that y'all were not compatible or are not compatible. So we got to understand that. We got to understand that. And somebody brought up an example of they knew somebody that was close to them. A dude was trying to educate the sister whom he was with at the time. And the sister basically was talking bad about him, saying that you too young to know anything. You can't teach me anything. You too young, X, Y, and Z. Well, I said that wasn't her not being teachable or coachable. That just means they were not compatible. She cannot be with a younger man. So she got to be led by the right. When I say she got to be led by the right individual, it's an older man that has to come to her and teach her. She's not compatible with younger men. There may be some older women that they are compatible with a younger man, and they may be receptive to that information coming from somebody that's younger than them. But we got to understand that that's not going to be everybody. So when that younger brother tried to teach that older woman some things, and she was like, "You too young to teach me anything," that right there is telling you we're not compatible. So that's when you leave the situation. A lot of times the brothers try to force the information. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. Andronicus, everybody can be taught. So a lot of times, see, what we make the mistake of doing as men is we start making it seem like some women are just a lost cause. Everybody can be taught. Everybody. It just takes the right person. What we got to understand, it takes the right person to reach them. Everybody can be taught, though. It just takes the right person. You just may not be the right person for that sister at the time. If you tried your hardest to teach a sister and it wasn't resonating with her, then you just wasn't the right person. You wasn't the right person. The way that you teach, your style of teaching is not compatible with her style of learning. Sometimes we just got to accept that as is. That's just what it is. Sometimes that's just the actual fact. That's the actual truth. Like the way that I teach, it's not compatible with her learning style. So we're not compatible. It's not going to work unless I adapt and adjust my teaching style. Point blank, period. Man, y'all know how it is when you look at the school system. We all have different learning styles. Some of us are hands-on. Some of us can hear somebody talk about it and it resonates quickly, instantly. So we all got different learning styles, man. And that applies to the woman that you are striving to teach, have a different learning style. So you got to learn the learning style if you feel like that's somebody that you would like to be with for a long period of time. So we got to know and we got to understand that, man. But everybody is teachable. Sometimes it's a person that's going to teach them. Sometimes it's life that's going to teach them, like experiences. But everybody is teachable. Everybody. It just takes the right person or the right situation for them to open up to being taught and things of that nature. Yeah, Master Tube. Yeah, patience is definitely important, especially when you're dealing with Black people in the wilderness of North America. We got to understand that we have all been traumatized and we have all passed that trauma down. So we got to understand what we're dealing with. So we do a good deal of talking about our traumatic past and how this system has programmed and conditioned us. But when it's time for us to be in relationships, it's like we have forgotten that information. So if we can sit here and talk that good talk about how conditioned and programmed we have been as a people, when you come across that in a sister or a brother, then you got to be patient. You got to be patient. Like, you didn't come out of the womb with this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, did you? I know I didn't. It took me years to come to the realization that I'm at right now currently. It took me years. So why would I expect for somebody to get this information that I got that took me years to get? They get the information I'm supposed to expect for them to change overnight. Like, no, that's not how it works, man. That's not how it works. It took me years to get this information. And then once I got the information, like, I had to dig deeper. I wasn't just going to accept the information on face value. And you are never supposed to do that. So patience is always important. It's always important. So we gotta understand that, man. It's all about your approach with these sisters, man. And then again, when you do your best in regards to approaching the sister with the information and you make adjustments and it's still not working out, then all that's telling you is we are not compatible. We are not compatible. Man, there's been plenty of people that, and I know y'all have been in situations like this to where you was with somebody, it didn't work out, and y'all was always clashing. Then they got with somebody else and it's like they life turned around. That doesn't mean that you were a bad person. That just means y'all were not compatible. What that person needed, like where that person was weak, you were not strong. So y'all did not complement one another, man. So that's what it boils down to. We got to understand that, man. Sometimes, man, you just not meant to be with a person. But a lot of times we trying to force it for a lot of artificial reasons, man. We may just like the way the person look. So we trying to force the relationship to work on those grounds and that foundation. Yeah, the person may look good, man, but if y'all not compatible, y'all just not compatible. Don't try to force things just based on that artificial foundation, man. It's a lot deeper than how one looks. So we got to understand that, man. We got to understand that it's a lot deeper and it's a lot bigger than how one's look. How one looks. I'm not telling you to be with somebody that you're not physically attracted to, but that's not the end all be all. It's a lot more to that equation. It's a lot more to that equation, man. The person has to look attractive, but then they have to think in a way that's attractive as well. Then they have to complement your teaching style as well. When you are a brother, they have to complement the way that you teach. It's almost like different leadership qualities. Back in the day, I was more so, I led by action. And you had a lot of people that they were verbal. They were verbal leaders. Like, they talked, they yelled, they did all of that type of nonsense, man. I didn't fool with it. I didn't rock like that. But for some people, that's what they needed. Some people were motivated by the verbal leaders. Then some people were motivated by the ones that led by action. I didn't do all the talking. I let my work do the talking for me. So it was people that looked up to that. Then it was people that looked up to the ones that did all the talking. So that doesn't mean my form of leadership was bad. It was just, it was a certain type of person that was going to gravitate towards my form of leadership. And then there was a certain type of person that was going to gravitate toward the leadership style of the person that was verbal and vocal. It doesn't mean one way is better than the other. And we got to understand that, man. We got to understand that. You know, we got to, like, a lot of these brothers, man, we quick to condemn these sisters and say they not teachable. But look, I've tried to teach a lot of brothers, man. I've tried to put a lot of brothers on game and they meet me with resistance. You know how the ego gets in the way. So sometimes when you try to teach some of these brothers, man, they are stubborn. So at the same time, while we criticizing the sisters, a lot of us are not receptive to the information as well. So we got to understand that, man. Are you teachable? Are you coachable? You know, make sure you teachable. Make sure you are coachable first before you try to criticize somebody else on being teachable and coachable. So we got to be able to do that type of stuff, man. But like I said, man, like it's a way that you got to teach a person, even when it comes to a child, man. You can't teach all children the same way. So when you have children, the first child you have, you may have to teach them a certain type of way. You may have to teach them in a hands-on manner. Then the second child you have, they may not fool with hands-on teaching. They may not function like that. So we just got to understand, man, it's different. But these queens, man, whether y'all want to acknowledge it or not, man, they love to be taught, man. They love to be guided in that right direction. It's just going to take the right man to come along and teach them properly. And when you teach that queen, man, I'm telling y'all, she is going to reflect your light. And your light simply is your knowledge, the knowledge that you supplied her with. She is going to reflect that, and she's going to do a great job of reflecting your light. Like your queen, she should represent you. It's almost like when you part of a team, man, like when you go out in public, you representing the team. So when you got these professional athletes, man, when you LeBron James, you go out, you representing the Lakers. You represent the Lakers, whether you want to or not. That's the team you are part of. So when you go out and when you do things, you representing that team. So when your queen, when she goes out separate from you or separated from you, she's representing the team. She's representing you. So you want to make sure she's a good representative of you, of your light, of your knowledge. So that's why you need to instill that information and that knowledge into her so she can represent you and she can represent you well. So that's important, man. You should always be striving to teach that sister what it is that you have learned, what it is that you know. You must do that. And teaching can be some simple as giving her the books that you read. You don't necessarily have to sit her down, you know what I'm saying, like school system style with a blackboard or with a dry erase board and teach her that way. You could just simply supply her with the books that help transform your mind. Things along those lines, man. It's just that simple. But you want to make sure, man, you supply her with the knowledge, man, that help motivate you, that help straighten you out. Give her that same information. Drop those same jewels on her. Terenzo, peace, what's happening? Master Two, for sure. We always should be learning and evolving every day, all day. And then when you got the queen, you got to make sure she's doing the same thing, man. Got to make sure she's doing the same thing. Everybody should be growing and evolving every day. Shakir, peace, what's happening? Oh, Tavon, for sure, man. And that's what it's all about. That's why you want to make sure you instill that proper information in her at all times, man. Like that's really your duty. That's your job. But a lot of times these brothers, man, they have gotten away from their foundation, which is learning. Like we should always be striving to learn. But a lot of brothers don't be trying to do that. A lot of brothers get stagnant. A lot of brothers don't listen. A lot of brothers ain't doing the knowledge every day, all day. They're not doing it. They're not learning something new every day. They're not doing that. They're not doing it. So we allowing these sisters to surpass us with the knowledge. Like that's supposed to be us bringing the knowledge to the table, man. Y'all talk about being the breadwinner. We supposed to be bringing the knowledge to the table as well. That's supposed to be our duty. That's supposed to be our job, man. We supposed to be bringing that knowledge. And that woman, the queen, is supposed to be the one putting it into motion. That's wisdom, man. That's a characteristic that she possesses. But if we're not going out of our way to learn, if we're not making sure we do the knowledge, we research and we study, then again, she gonna have to do it. And she out here teaching us. She not supposed to be teaching us. That's not how it's supposed to go. That's not how it's supposed to go. That's not how the natural order works, man. Y'all ain't understanding that. Not saying that you can't learn from your queen, don't get me wrong. But when it comes to the natural order of things, man, the man is supposed to be supplying that information. That man is supposed to be supplying that information, man. I'm telling y'all, that's how it works, man. When you just study a lot of these cultures, you see that the man gravitated toward the culture and he brought the woman with him. That's how it works 90% of the time. 90% of the time. Jamar, peace. What's happening? What's happening? Hey, and Jamar, better late. Hey, better late than never, man. Better late than never. At least you realized it. See, a lot of people, we try to force it, man, and we remain blind to the facts. Again, if y'all are not compatible, then y'all are just not compatible. And it really doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out whether or not you all are compatible or not. A lot of times the signs are right in your face. We just tend to ignore them joints. Right in your face, man. We have a lot of those red flags that are thrown right in our faces. We just ignore them, man, because like I said, it's some type of artificial foundation that we built. Like we like the way that they look, or they may have a job, they may have a decent job, or something like something along those lines. Whatever it is, we gonna cling to that person for that reason. But the reasons that actually matter, like they not providing for us in regards to those departments. Oh, Master Two for sure, man, for sure. We always learning, man. We always evolving, man. We always putting things into motion. Always, man. This knowledge is infinite, as we like to say. So it's always something to learn. Always something to learn because knowledge is infinite, man. You should never go a day without learning something. There's always something to learn out here. Always, man. There's always some information to gather. There's always some knowledge to gather. Always, man, because it's infinite. So we gotta understand that, man. If the woman that you with, she's not reflecting your information, she's not reflecting your knowledge, then it's time to do away with that particular relationship, man. That's one thing we gotta understand. If she's not reflecting your light, that right there is the major sign. If she's not reflecting your light, then y'all are not meant to be. Gotta understand that, man. That's a big determining factor. That's a big determining factor right there. If that queen, if that sister is not reflecting your light when y'all are separated, when she goes out and you not with her, she's not reflecting your light, man, then it's time to do away with her, man. It's time to move on. Keep it moving. She must reflect your light. She must reflect your light. Point blank, period, man. She must reflect that light, man. If she going out, she's not representing the team well. Y'all know how it is. Just look at sports, man. When somebody goes out, man, and they tarnishing the team name, the team image, what happens? They cut them loose. They cut them loose. They don't want all that static associated with the brand, so they cut them loose. So y'all got to do the same thing, man. You don't want all that static associated with your brand, especially when you've been instilling the proper information in it. That's unnecessary energy coming towards your brand. See, you got to cut it loose. Whether people want to admit it or not, people say it all the time, man. The person that you choose to be with, it is also a business decision as well. So we got to understand that type of concept. We got to understand that, man, because essentially this is going to be your teammate. Like literally, this person is going to be your teammate, whether it comes to your business endeavors, whether it comes to raising a family. Like this person is going to be your teammate. So it is a business decision. So you got to make sure this person is reflecting your light, or else it's not going to work out. It's not going to work out, man. The team is not going to be successful. Not going to be successful, man. And y'all know what happens when the team is not that successful, man. It's time to rebuild. You know what I'm saying? Players are cut, coaches are fired, owners leave. Like that's what happens. Like that's literally what happens, man. So we got to understand that, man. But y'all see what happens when you build in a dynasty. You see what happens when you build in a dynasty, man. Y'all know the difference between building a dynasty and seeing a team that's not that good. So we got to know and understand what's going on, man. Hey, Terenzo dropping the jewels. Terenzo and Jamar, most definitely appreciate y'all for sure. All in Dale, you already know we ain't messing with that breed. Tavon, hey, congrats, my brother, man. If you need some guidance on how to get started, man, just let me know. Just let me know. But man, it's a big business decision, man. That person that you're gonna be with, the person that you think that you're gonna be with, man, it's a business decision, man. That's an important decision. That's one of the biggest decisions you're gonna make in your life. So you need to make sure you are thoroughly examining the person, thoroughly examining that person, man, before you make that decision, man. Gotta know and understand, like, all right, I'm gonna give her this information. I'm gonna see if she is able to reflect this light, reflect this knowledge, see if she's able to represent the team, represent my light, represent me. And if she's not able to do it, like I said, then it's not meant to be. It's not meant to be. If y'all finding yourselves constantly clashing over this information that you are supplying her with, then it's not meant to be. If you with somebody and you left the church a long time ago, you came into the knowledge of self, and then you meet this queen, this potential queen, and you feel highly about it, and you feel like this is somebody I see myself with, and they not on what you are on at this current moment, you got to think, how bad do I want this? How bad do I want it? Got to ask yourself that question. And that's where patience comes into play. That's where patience comes into play. She might not be what you are on now, but if you remain patient, she may eventually get on board. She may eventually get on board. Like, yeah, you left the church. She may not be ready to leave it, but that don't mean she will never leave it. Give her time. If this is somebody that you feel like is the one for you, is the person for you, then you're going to give her time. You give her time. Because in due time, they come around. In due time, they come around, man. It never fails, man. All you got to do is remain true to yourself, and they going to gravitate towards that. Just like the brothers that was in the nation back in the day, Nation of Islam, man, they was like, everybody around them saw how the Nation of Islam pretty much changed them. You know, a lot of those brothers back in the day were ex-gamblers, pimps, you know what I'm saying, like drug dealers and things of that nature. Then they got the information, they got the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and then they transformed. And a lot of the people around them noticed that. So whether or not they agreed with the Nation of Islam and what they were teaching, they could not deny the fact that it helped transform a lot of brothers. So a lot of people got down with the cause just simply because they saw how it affected or impacted the males around them. So again, when you get some knowledge, when you get some information, and you stand on your square at all times, and you put that information into motion, the people around you are going to take heed to that. They are going to notice that. And if they love you, if they rock with you, they are going to gravitate towards whatever it is that they have seen that has helped you. They're going to gravitate towards it. Mac Daddy, peace, what's happening? No doubt, no doubt. So we gotta understand that, man. We gotta understand that. So again, you find somebody that's compatible with your way of teaching. My way of teaching is, like I said, to lead by example. So I'm not going to be the one that's out here telling you what you need to know. I'm going to show you what you need to know. How am I going to show you what you need to know? I'm going to live out the reality. So I'm going to get the information and I'm going to live it out. And you're going to be like, dang, man, I admire your discipline. How are you able to move like this? Then that's when I'm going to present you with the information. So that's how, as we say, make knowledge born. That's how I make knowledge born. I live out the reality instead of talking about it all the time. I live it out. You're going to learn through my ways and actions, through how I'm moving, through how I'm living. That's how I make the knowledge born. That's how I teach. That's how I get my point across. You just going to see me living. You're going to be like, man, you got a lot of discipline. Instead of me teaching you about discipline, you're going to see the discipline. Like, you're going to see it. You're going to see the focus. You're going to see the concentration. You're going to see the motivation, the self-motivation. You're going to see it instead of me having to teach it to you or preach it to you, whatever you want to refer to it as. You will see it. So I would have to be with somebody that's their learning style. They're able to pay attention to the way that I'm moving, and they get inspired by that. Like, man, look how he moving. I want to know what he know. That's somebody that's compatible with my learning style. Hey, Jamar, congrats first and foremost, man. We speak it into existence, man. So we already know that that's going to be a successful marriage right there. So, hey, props to my brother Jamar. And what's crazy is Jamar, she may know. She may already know. You know, their intuition is powerful. So she may already know. She may already sense it. Dominique, for sure, man. And that's why I say, man, it's very important, man. It's very important. So a lot of times, man, and what people don't understand too, we got to take responsibility, man. When we out here in some of these relationships, we got to take some of the responsibility for the condition of our sisters out here, man. We got to take some of the responsibility, man. A lot of us got down with some of these sisters, man, and our light was garbage. So they was reflecting our light, but our light was garbage. We was out here teaching them the wrong thing, or we wasn't teaching them anything, man. And we left it up to them to do all the teaching, to do all the learning. So a lot of time, man, sometimes we got to take responsibility for that condition. Because I'm telling y'all, man, they reflecting our light. So if we getting with these sisters, man, and our light is not that strong, then they reflecting that weak light. So sometimes, man, it revolves around us in regards to the condition of some of these sisters out here, man. They getting with the black man, they getting with several of them. And these brothers ain't striving to learn, ain't striving to enhance their knowledge, and they are consuming that type of energy. They are consuming that type of energy, and it's wearing them down. It's wearing them down. A Paso Doty official, you say, will God favor the married man more than the single man? First off, I'm not really a believer in that type of in the God concept like you are speaking of. So I really don't have an answer for that. Nobody is really favored because I don't necessarily subscribe to that. I don't subscribe to the universe favoring anybody. I don't subscribe to any God and like that and things of that nature favoring anybody. So nah, I really don't subscribe to that belief to give you an answer to that particular question in all honesty. If that was something that I believed in, then I would answer that to the best of my abilities. But the God concept that you are speaking of, I don't subscribe to. So I really don't feel it would be fair to answer your question because I don't subscribe to it. Yeah, I don't subscribe to it in the light that you are speaking about God like that. I would be doing you a disservice if I tried to give you an answer, man. And that's just my honest opinion. That's just my honest answer to that. Can't give you an answer because I don't believe in that God concept like you are presenting it to me. Lindell, man, yeah, you gotta watch a lot of these platforms, man. And what's sad is, see, what's happening. This is what's I'm gonna tell y'all something. When I say a lot of these women like to be taught, just listen. Whether y'all know it or not, a lot of these brothers on these platforms, it be a lot of sisters tuning in to the brothers. Got to understand that. So if they not with a man that's teaching them in regards to a relationship, guess what? They probably watching a man on YouTube, or they probably going to a church where a man is preaching. I'm telling y'all, it's a lot of sisters right now that they are not in relationships, but they done found a male on some of these platforms, and they are being taught by the man that they are listening to. So I'm telling y'all, man, that's happening. So if they don't have a man in their life that's teaching them, they found a man on some of these social media platforms, and they gravitating towards the information that man is presenting. I know a lot of people like that. They not with a man right now that's teaching them, but they'll tell me about a man that they watch on YouTube and the game that they drop. So I'm telling y'all, man, listen, these women love to be informed by men, contrary to what we may believe, what we may think. For the most part, a lot of these sisters don't like to be educated by other sisters. So sometimes you will get a lot of backlash. Like when another sister is trying to teach other sisters, like she gonna get met with a lot of resistance. Man, those sisters ain't trying to learn from that other sister. They ain't trying to learn from that queen. Now, I'm not saying that this happens 100% of the time, but for the most part, man, that sister like, no, I got to learn from this man. I ain't trying to learn. I'm not trying to hear this other sister drop this game on me. So a lot of times when you see a sister talk, when you see a sister teaching and spitting game and whatnot, it's going to be a lot of brothers tuned in. But when that man is teaching, it's gonna be a lot of women in the congregation. It's gonna be a lot of women in the congregation for the most part. All right, hold on, y'all dropping some comments, man. Let me see what's happening. All right, for sure. For sure, man. You get them involved, and you get them involved. Like, again, you learn what works for them. Like, you know what I'm saying? You learn what works for them. Then you also learn what they need. So if you are with somebody and you see like emotionally they struggling, then they may not need to know how to make more money. They may need to get their mental right first. So you got to meet them at that level, you know? So you just got to see where they weak at. And then that's when you come in and supply the strength, compliment them and things of that nature, man. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Maze, peace, what's happening? Y'all say, what's the book recommendation for the day? Here go the book right now that I'm reading right here. This mug is The Rock. It say the man behind Muhammad Ali. Get this book, man. Get this book right here, man. It's like it's a memoir. It's a powerful book, man. I'm flying through this book. I'm flying through it, but here it go again, man. The Rock. Like they say, it's the man behind Muhammad Ali, man. Y'all probably ain't never heard of this guy right here. But it's The Rock, man. The life story of Minister Abdul Rahman, aka Captain Sam, the man behind Muhammad Ali. So that's the book recommendation for the day. Let me see what y'all talking about, man. Let me see what y'all. Tavon, oh yeah, man. Like I said, a lot of this stuff that's out here is just straight toxic, straight toxic. Yeah, Ronnie, and that's the thing, man. A lot of times we don't think about that, man. We just give them information that we think is best for them, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? We just got to really see where they weak at, though. We think, well, everybody, you know what I'm saying? Everybody needs to know how to make money, but man, that may not be what they need at that particular point in time. That may not solve the problem right now that they facing, man. So we got to meet them where they at. We got to say, okay, emotionally, they struggling, they depressed, they going through some things. So you know what? I'm gonna give them something to help with the mental elevation, to alleviate the depression, to build up the mental health and things of that nature, man. So sometimes that's what you got to do. That's how you got to come in. Dominique, for sure. And I'm already knowing that's because, man, they more receptive when it comes from a man. And I've legit had sisters tell me that, just honestly. I've had sisters tell me that honestly. Like, they don't, a lot of women be like, I don't rock with other women, or it's somebody, it's gotta be a man, it's gotta be coming from a man. Like, I've literally heard that, and that's actually been told to me in the physical. So I know for the most part that this is accurate because it has literally been told to me more than one time. So we got to understand that, man. A lot of these sisters, man, they are just looking for that male teacher, man, that male to lead them in the right direction. If they can't find it in relationship form, then they just gonna get on social media and they gonna gravitate towards whatever man is spitting the right information to them on these platforms. Ooh, Justin, no, man, no, yeah, Infudishi. I don't have any of his books, but I plan on getting a few though. Man, I done had his joints in my, I done had his joints, man. I done had his joints on standby for a little minute, but I got to get some of them though. But yeah, man, we gotta get on board, man. We gotta understand that everybody has that different style of learning, man. So if you with somebody, you gotta get in tune with her style of learning, man. If it's really that important, is if it's really that important to you to be with said individual, then you're gonna learn the learning style of that particular person, and you're gonna teach them according to that learning style, man. You're gonna do that. If you don't too much care for the person, then you're not gonna do that, man. If you're just trying to use the person to fulfill a desire, you know, to fulfill a lustful desire, then that's just what you're gonna use her for. But if you really care about the person, then you're gonna learn about their learning style and you're gonna teach them according to that. Oh, Justin, yeah, for sure. I already know they dope books, man, just based off of watching him on YouTube. So I'm already knowing. Oh, Tavon, for sure, man. You know that father figure is not only needed for like that male figure is not only needed for the young men, but it's definitely needed for the young women as well. You know, so that's important all across the board. Just like that mother figure is important across the board. Yeah, Dominique, for sure, man. A lot of people just can't handle that, man. So that's why I tell you, if you a sister and you about to be out here dropping some information, best believe, man, more than likely, other sisters gonna be kind of hating on you, man. It happens. You're gonna have some queens that support you, but you're gonna get a lot of backlash from your sisters, man, because that's just the way that it goes. Just like a lot of times when us dudes are teaching, we get a lot of hatred from other dudes because it's the ego, it's the competitive nature of man. You know, so that's just how the game goes, man. We gotta know and understand that and expect that to happen, man. Just accept the consequences for our ways and actions, for our decisions, man. So we just gotta accept what comes with the territory, man. We just gotta accept it. So get in tune with the weakness, man. Figure out what the person you striving to be with lacks. Figure out their weak points, and you should be strong in those areas, man. Y'all can't be weak in the same areas. That more than likely will not work. You know what I mean? So y'all gotta compliment one another, man. So if you do the knowledge to this person and y'all weak in the same areas, man, it's not gonna work. If you see she weak in the areas where you are strong and vice versa, then now we talking. Now we talking. Now we own to something. So we gotta examine that, man. We gotta do the knowledge to that. And a lot of times we don't. It's like in the world of business, they tell you to do a SWOT analysis, man. And the first two letters, man, strengths and weaknesses, man. So you should be doing that when it comes to, you know what I'm saying, the person that you decide to be with, man. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are you literally bringing to the table and what are you not bringing to the table? Like, what is something that you lack? Like, I'm just not cool in this particular department, man. I'm not the most affectionate. So you're going to have to compliment me when it comes to being affectionate, things of that nature, man. So you just got to know what you bring to the table. What are your strong points? Then you got to know and understand, like, what are my weak points? What do I need help with? I'm not the best communicator, man. So I'm going to need somebody that's patient with communication. Like, I'm not going to be the best communicator 100% of the time. So you got to be with somebody that understands that and accepts that and that's willing to work with you in that regard, man. So that's important. It's important. You got to get with somebody that understands your weaknesses. But a lot of times we so out of touch with our true selves that we don't know our weaknesses, let alone present the weaknesses to the person that we striving to be with. When you striving to be with a person, you should already lay that out on the table. Like, here are my weaknesses. Here's where I struggle. That's what two people that have knowledge of self will do. So we gotta understand that, man. Two people that have knowledge of themselves, they gonna come to the table and say, you know what, this is what I have to offer. This is where I'm strong. This is where I'm weak. The other person, this is where I'm strong. This is where I'm weak. Are we compatible? Like, that's how the game goes. That's how the game should go. That's how you are able to make a calculated decision, man, in regards to saying, okay, this is the person that I can see myself with. This is the person that I can see reflecting my knowledge, putting it into motion, representing the culture, representing the team. So we got to understand the importance of that, man. So Get in tune with your strengths and weaknesses, man. Get in tune. Get in tune, man. So you gotta thoroughly analyze yourself, man. This should not be something that should not be a complicated process. If somebody came to you and asked you what are your strong points, you should be able to answer that immediately. If they ask you where are your weak points, you should be able to answer that immediately. You know what I mean? So we should be able to answer these questions immediately, and it should not take us that long to do so. And we should answer the question based on what other people have told us. You know, I don't care what somebody else said about you. I don't care what, you know, your mother said about you, your brother said about you, your sister said about you. How do you feel about you? What do you say about you? That's what's most important. Because people only gonna judge you based off of what you show them and give them. You know the true you. Nobody else knows the true you. You could be acting in a totally different way when you're around people. So they judging you based on what you're giving them. You may not be giving them the entire version of you. So only you know you. You are the best knower of self. So I don't care what other people are saying about you. That's irrelevant. What do you feel about you and what are you saying about yourself? Dang, Dominique, for sure, man. I'm the first one to tell you. I'll be the first one to tell you I don't know nothing. I don't know anything. Like I'll be the first one to tell you, man. And that keeps me thirsty and hungry for the information, for the knowledge. You know, I tell myself every day, man, oh, you don't know nothing, man. You don't know anything. You know, and that keeps me thirsty. That keeps me hungry. Y'all may look at that and hear that and say, man, that's negative. Why would you say that? Because I literally don't. I don't know anything out here. No, I don't know anything. The moment I think I know something, that's when I stop growing. So I'm always telling myself, man, I don't know anything. It's still a lot to learn out here. It's still a lot of information to gather. Still a long way to go. So that's how I always look at it, man. Wake up every day, man. I don't know nothing, man. There's always something new for me to uncover, man, and discover out here. Even the things that I think I know may be incorrect, man, and may need to be revised and things of that nature, man. So I'm always open to revision in regards to what I think I do know already. So that's how I remain thirsty and eager to learn, man, because I tell myself every day I know absolutely nothing. I don't know anything. A lot of people be thinking I know something. Like, man, I don't know anything, man. I'm telling y'all, I know absolutely nothing. And I will be the first to tell you, and I will tell you that every day, all day. I don't know anything. You know just as much as I do. You know just as much as I do. You might know more. Master Tool, yeah, and jealousy is a problem, you know, due to us being in the wilderness of North America. They made it they designed it in a way to where the Black woman is going to have a lot more opportunities, financially speaking, in corporate America than we will have. So majority of the time, the Black woman is going to be making a decent amount of money while the brother is out here struggling. That's how it's been designed. So we think the breadwinner being the head of the house, like the way we was raised, we don't think we are properly doing that if we not making the most money. And we have let money guide us in the wrong direction. It's a lot deeper than just money. Like that dollar bill is worthless. So being the head of the household, being the breadwinner, so to speak, being the breadwinner and all of that, it's a lot deeper than your income. But America that made it appear to be, America has made it appear as if your financial success is the end all be all. So if you making the most money in a relationship, you have the most power type deal. That is what America is teaching. That's not necessarily a fact. It's not necessarily a fact. Before the monetary system was brought into existence, you had to think about it. So it's letting you know right now that it's not necessarily the money that has the power. It's the mind behind the creation of the money that brought about the power and the corruption. So it's always going to be the mind that is the strongest. It's always going to be the mind that supplies the power. So it's never anything like the actual dollar bill, like your income, like your money. that's never going to come before the mental. And so we have deviated from that reality. And we think it's all about making money. We think we got to make more money than these sisters. Because we didn't brought it, we didn't bought into the artificial programming that they have instilled in us, man. It's a lot bigger than that. It's a lot bigger than that. It's a lot deeper than that. So we got to break that conditioning and we got to break that programming. Oh yeah, Lindell for sure. Detroit Red, J98, peace, what's happening? Yeah, Dominican for sure. And that's, you know what I'm saying? And we didn't bought into that program. And we think, man, I gotta make more money than such and such. If I'm not making more money than such and such, then I'm not doing my job. Man, you could be teaching that queen everything she needs to know to make her more money. And that's doing your job. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta break from that mode of thinking. That mode of thinking is enslaving us, man. We are literally enslaved to the dollar bill, and we think that that's all life is about. It's not, though, because like I said, it took a mind to bring that into fruition and existence, man. You know, we wasn't just money, like everything started. They didn't just have a monetary system. The monetary system had to be created by a mind, you know. So that's where everything starts, man. It starts with the mind, man. So when that mind is strong, everything is going to unfold according to that strong mind. Never forget that. Never forget that. We like to focus on the artificial. We like to focus on the material. The mind is the most important, man. The mind is the most powerful, man. So you got to focus on that. You got to build that mind. You got to elevate the mind. Justin, for sure. A lot of people can't understand that, man. Provider, we have associated provider with just something being financial. Nah, when you supply her with information, you are a provider. Listen, if she got a business endeavor and you supply her with the information to help her business grow, you are a provider. Like provider means providing. Like I'm providing knowledge to you. And that knowledge is helping you grow. It's helping you elevate. It's helping me grow. It's helping me elevate. That's a provider. That's a true provider. That's a true provider, man. It's almost like raising children, man. What you gonna do? You gonna throw money to the children and say, all right, I'm a good parent, I'm a good father simply because I threw money their way. It's bigger than that, man. You gotta actually be in their lives, man. Gotta actually be in their lives, man. You absent, but you threw money their way. And you was like, well, I gave them everything they asked for. Why they still view me as a bad parent? Because you were not around. You were not active with the children, man. So it's bigger than money. Children understand this. Children understand this. Children don't care that you buying them all the shoes that they want and need. Children don't care about that. If you're not present, then they're gonna feel some type of way. They're gonna feel abandoned. So you can't buy the love from a child. See, children understand this, but we lose that way as we grow older because again, the way we've been conditioned by society. The way we've been conditioned, man, that child wants you to be active. That child wants you to be present. They don't care anything about you buying everything, buying all these shoes, buying all these clothes. Like they too young to even care about that for real. Jay, for sure. I'm already knowing. That's why I'm speaking on it. It's some people that think that that's all that needs to be done, and they view the child as being ungrateful. Like when a child is like, man, you really weren't there, but then they'll be like, man, you ungrateful because I provided for you financially. But that's it though. What about emotionally? What about mentally? You know, what about those levels? You have to provide on those levels as well, man. So we got to understand that, man. It's deeper than just providing for somebody financially. See, Dominique, that's what I'm talking about. The art of negotiation. You with your queen and you teach her how to negotiate, and then it works out for her. You just provided for her. You just provided for her right there, man. I taught you how to negotiate, and you utilized what I taught you. You implemented it, and it worked out for you. I provided for you. I provided that information to you. You wouldn't have been able to negotiate that raise without my information being provided to you. So that's another way to provide, man. It's another example of providing. So we got to understand that, man. It's levels to being a provider, man. It's levels to it. It's levels to it. But y'all, man, with that being said, man, I'm running short on the time. Gotta make my moves, gotta head on out to this gym, gotta drill these clients. Y'all know how I do it, y'all know how it goes, man. So I appreciate y'all tapping in for round 2 of the bills today. I'm gonna try to tap in again with y'all tomorrow for sure. So y'all be easy. Y'all enjoy the rest of this. Man, what's today? Today Monday, ain't it? Yeah, y'all enjoy the rest of this Monday. Y'all get y'all some rest, man. Y'all make sure y'all eat a light meal tonight. Y'all be easy out here. I'm gonna tap in with y'all tomorrow. Appreciate y'all, man. Peace.